Episode 156.
And what we also know about consumers is it doesn't take very much for them to be disloyal to their auto repair shop. They're already a little off balance from having this problem with their car in the first place. It's not pleasant to have a car-related failure or breakdown. And if shops don't do everything they can to keep the customer trust and loyalty from end to end, from start to finish, customers will just go somewhere else.
Welcome, aftermarketers, to On Point from Remarkable Results Radio and a special interview from an auto care industry professional. On Point. Hello, aftermarketers. Carm Capriato here. And thank you for being a loyal listener to Remarkable Results Radio, heard throughout the world on Apple iTunes, Google Play Music, and of course, right on the Remarkable Results Radio website. And welcome to episode 156 with Kathleen Long. This episode is brought to you by Federal Mogul Motor Parts. Search for parts, get the latest technical updates, and sign up for their new Garage Rewards loyalty program at their all-new website, fmmotorparts.com. Hey, do you know how powerful the podcast website is? Well, there are 3 powerful tools to help you narrow your focus on content. There is the search feature that sits on the right-hand side of the menu bar. You can type in anything and find what you're looking for, even the name of a peer. They may have been on the show. There's the category filter that sits on the home page and the episodes page. And also, it's new, the tag cloud that is also on the home and episodes page. You can dial in on many micro topics that are subjects covered in the podcasts. Use these features to enhance your podcast experience. Now, meet Kathleen Long, the VP of Customer Success and the GM of the Shop Network at RepairPal. Find an extended bio on Kathleen on the show notes page on the website, remarkableresults.biz/E156. Kathleen works closely with the employees and savvy owners of high-tech shops in RepairPal's certified network to help them grow their business. Our discussion is brimming with stats about consumer behaviors that Kathleen is so graciously sharing with you. We will target the results of their perpetual studies and what every service professional can learn from their consumer research. As an example of what you're going to learn, in your public marketing, be sure to mention that you will do a quality repair and that you are happy to provide a good estimate. Many consumers don't know the difference between an inspection and diagnostics, and you may want to spell that out. What are consumer preferences on warranty? Consumers want text features with their shop, and Kathleen talks about a valuable strategy for your website. Also, what type of reviews are important, why customers leave, and the importance of a great bedside manner. This episode is jammed with stats and strategies to make surgical improvements to your business. Now here we go with Kathleen Long. A warm welcome to Kathleen Long, Vice President and General Manager of the Shop Network at RepairPal. Kathleen, are you ready to go on point?
I am. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Glad to have you here. So, RepairPal, I'll bet you one of the things that you guys do is a lot of research.
Yes, absolutely. We're constantly testing with the consumers that are visiting our website so we can learn more about them and try to figure out what's going on with the internet viewing public.
Is this quite a process? I mean, do you have web geeks in the back room constantly designing surveys for the millions of people that come at you all every month?
Yes, and we're not supposed to call them that, but that's exactly what we're doing, is we are testing using surveys. We also use different internet experiences to see will people choose A or B when we give them choices, that sort of thing.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart. So what are you learning? I am just dying to find out about all the great stuff that you're discovering.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're learning all kinds of things about what consumers are thinking when they look at auto repair, how they're choosing auto repair shops, how they're making this decision. So it's one of the biggest purchases. You know, when your car breaks down and you're not expecting it, it's one of the biggest unexpected purchases that a consumer has in their financial life. And so it's a big deal. I'm so excited that you're here because I've got all kind of great questions in my mind. Price, convenience, satisfaction of a repair. What's some great data that you have? Yeah, so price is a good place to start. And the reason for that is, again, it's a big purchase. Most people, their car is absolutely essential to their day-to-day life and maintaining their lifestyle and their job. And so the cost of an auto repair is a very important consideration. And there is an old school sort of way of thinking around that, which is, let's not talk about price. Let's move the conversation solely to value. The reality is that consumers are very concerned about price. And of course, they want a high value, high quality automotive repair for their vehicle. It's an important part of their lives, as I said. But what we're finding is that in our online messaging and any kind of web advertisement that we do, when we mention straightforward pricing or upfront pricing, that converts much, much better to a call to a shop or to an actual repair than any other kind of advertising we could do.
How does the consumer really know what it takes to fix a car today? I mean, we're talking automotive science, we're talking high technologies, a lot of diagnostics time. How does it really relate to, I'm going to fix my check engine light, it's going to cost $90. I mean, there's just no possible way that price should be in the mix.
Yeah, so consumers don't know is the answer. About 60% of consumers say consistently that they feel they weren't charged a fair price for their last repair. And when you dig into that and you say, well, why do you think that? A third of them are saying that they're just using a gut feeling, right? And so what that means for shops is that they've really got to work with the consumer so that the consumer understands what happened, how they diagnosed the vehicle, what they did to the vehicle, what the consumer can expect after the repair.
That's a great point. I mean, this goes right to the service advisor and really having the consumer walk away totally feeling that what they just paid, they got their money's worth.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times shops will focus an awful lot on converting the consumer up front, giving a great experience, and then you come and get your keys and you drive your car away and you're just not sure exactly what happened. Invoices can be confusing. There's a lot of technical jargon on them often, which is notes that are useful for the shop. They know exactly what they mean, but the average consumer does not know.
I'm so happy you have come on the show because you guys are just brimming with these statistics and you're so willing to share them with my listeners. This is great. I appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely.
So what should shops be saying in their ads based on their social strategy? You've got the data and you say, wow, this data says here's what the shop should be doing. What do you know?
Yeah, so they need to they have straightforward and transparent pricing, that they're upfront, that they're not going to overcharge the consumer, they're going to provide a quality repair, and that they're happy to provide a good estimate.
But this is in their web facing and say, for example, their Facebook presentation. That's what they need to be doing?
Facebook, any kind of social media on their own website. Giving consumers a form where after hours they can ask questions or request an estimate. And again, of course, you have to see the vehicle to understand what's wrong with it and do the diagnostic, explaining to consumers the difference between an inspection and a diagnostic. A lot of people don't know what the difference is.
Got it. Now, what about warranties? What are you finding out about warranties?
Yeah, so warranty is also very important. And consumers actually indicate that they'd be willing to pay more for a longer warranty. And a longer warranty is most important to many consumers versus, say, a nationwide warranty. And the reason is that most consumers simply aren't that mobile. They're going from home to work and they're not doing a lot of, national traveling or anything like that. One exception to this, we do see nationwide warranties more important in areas that have high populations of military employees. For obvious reasons, they're a highly mobile population. So depending on your region and geography, typically, though, the length of a warranty is going to be most important, and people do value 2, 3, 4-year warranties more than the 1 year or even 6 or 3 month warranties.
So the length of the warranty is more important than the coverage?
Yes, to most consumers. And in fact, they indicate they'd be willing to pay a little more, either for a repair that includes a longer warranty or just straightforward for the warranty itself.
Now, when you say coverage, Kathleen, do you mean the length of the distance that I would be away from the shop?
Yeah, so there's a lot of nationwide warranties out there. And in fact, RepairPal is looking at doing a nationwide warranty for our network of shops as well. Again, we serve a military population. We have a partnership with USAA. And so it's very important to certain segments of our consumer base. It's a good thing to offer. It's not a bad thing. But in general, if you're trying to do a cost benefit analysis about, what you should be offering your consumers, go with length versus breadth nationwide.
You've always counted on Moog to keep you ahead of the pack when it comes to chassis innovation. Well, they've done it again. Most recently launched is the Moog ball joint with a pre-installed integral dust boot. It's designed exclusively for compression-loaded suspension systems, providing superior strength and durability for these types of vehicle applications. The dust boot is made from higher-strength materials and comes pre-installed, saving you time because it's easier to install. It also has a larger contact area against the stud, which makes a more effective seal. For your customers, the unit uses Moog's powdered metal gusher bearing that provides longer life and controlled radial and axial movement. You get the industry's leading coverage of 10,000 SKUs, including 4,600 for foreign applications. Hey, you've been installing Moog confidently for years, and now you know why. Quality, convenience. What are you hearing in your surveys?
Yeah, so quality and convenience are important, but they're almost like words that don't mean anything. What is quality? So we ask consumers, how do you gauge whether you got a quality repair or not? I mean, you don't really know what's going on with your car. It's hard to assess what's happening. And so about a third of consumers say they use their previous experience at that shop or at a different one to gauge. And experience means everything from customer service to picking up the car, was the car clean? Did they leave all of their stuff in the car? That sort of thing. And then, in the next 2 weeks or so, the driving experience that they have, was the problem that they brought the car in for actually resolved?
Are you getting any feedback from your site visitors and in your surveys about the texting ability, the communications while and during the repairs going on?
Yes, absolutely. So in terms of convenience, consumers say the number one feature that they would like to see shops offer is a text communication service where they could text a question, the shop would answer, they can get texted estimates. Some shops are doing that now. Consumers are really, we're tied to our phones, right? And so having that ability to just shoot off a quick question and have communication that way versus back and forth phone calls is what's most convenient for the consumers today.
Convenient, you just said that word. What does that mean? Is it close to home, close to work? Is it hours opened?
Yes, all those things. So consumers do appreciate shops that are close to their home or work. We find that shops that have a high population of consumers around them within a 5 to 10 mile radius usually do the best. And then consumers prefer shops that make their experience more convenient. So that's again with texting, having loaner cars available, which is more appealing to most consumers than shuttles or rental cars. Because that allows them to just go about their daily life the way they normally would. And then they're looking for shops that are just clean and have literally one of the things that came up in a survey is clean bathrooms.
Sure. I think it's probably the number one. I mean, I wouldn't send my wife into a place unless I had checked the bathrooms out first. and you've heard the great stories. And it's happened to me so many times that we've been on the road, did a little road trip with the family. And there's a restaurant, convenient more than anything. Get off the exit, there is something. Never heard of it. The first thing that I would do is go into the bathroom. And we would either leave or stay, right?
Exactly, yes. And so I don't know how many people are choosing their auto repair shop that way, but I know once they've dropped off their car, if they need to use the restroom and it's dirty, that is just one, it's the start of a nail in a coffin. And what we also know about consumers is it doesn't take very much for them to be disloyal to their auto repair shop. They're already a little off balance from having this problem with their car in the first place. It's not pleasant to have a car-related failure or breakdown. And if shops don't do everything they can to keep the customer trust and loyalty from end to end, from start to finish, customers will just go somewhere else.
Yeah, you just said total package, right? It's really.
It is.
So it's a reflection. And I know some shop owners that have gone to the nines We're talking flowers, marble countertops, baby changing places, all kinds of lotions. And it's a smart move today. So you're finding that out, and you continue to affirm that shops should be doing this.
Yes, offering those features. By the same token, if you want to save a little money, a lot of consumers are saying that the lobby is not that important to them. In today's busy world, a lot of people aren't going to wait for the car. So they really just want to get in, have a good experience, drop off the car, get out, go on with their daily life, and come back when the car is finished.
Well, it does bring differentiation to certain shops based on how the lobby is, Wi-Fi, coffee, leather couches and chairs, all kinds of magazines, great TV. And I guess it just depends on the owner. But there is a certain minimum standard, is what you're saying, that everyone should have. Exactly. And cleanliness is just the good starting place. The dirt, the dust on the counters. I get it. Yeah. Parts on the floor. I know. And that's where the future shop of tomorrow is. So I'm a RepairPal participant. Do you send me this information so that I could continue to keep check of my own business? Yeah. So we work with the shops in our network to provide them information on how to convert consumers that are calling over the phone that found them on the web or that are sending email, and then to keep those consumers. Now, we can't always see what's going on in the shop on a day-to-day basis. And so a lot of times we trust our shop owners to manage this experience. We provide them the information, and that most of them have high customer satisfaction scores. So we know that their existing customers are really happy. But a lot of times shops get very mired in their existing customers, which once their customers have been coming to them for years, that's just what they're familiar with. They have a trust level there. And so they're going to keep going, even if they have an experience where the bathroom is dirty. After 10 years of going to the same mechanic shop, you're going to continue going there, right? Yeah. But what they don't know are, people who are looking them up on the web, people who maybe had a one-time diagnostic or inspection experience who very quietly go away. Those are the people that they don't know as much about. And so that is where all the testing that we're doing on our website is really helpful to illuminate some of these, dark corners where shop owners can continue to improve their conversion rates of new customers. I'm talking with Jonathan Giachelli, a technical product specialist with Federal Mogul Motor Parts. So, Jonathan, how does a service professional get the Guru on the Go van to their shop?
There's a couple ways. We do what we call cold calls, where we go around and just visit shops based on geographics. And there's also times where we team up with outside sales reps from other parts distributors and visit the shops on that basis.
So I love this. You pull into a shop on a cold call, they see the van, and they're probably excited to see you.
Yeah. I've had a couple shops where they've actually have already heard of the Gurus via Facebook or social media. So when I show up, they've already been signed up and taken online classes, and now that the van's there, it's really easy to book a lunch and learn.
So you're really an extension of the Garage Guru training centers.
Yes, absolutely.
So you're all done with your lunch and learn. You spend 45 minutes to an hour. Probably that's all you can really get from a busy, busy shop. What are the technicians saying about your shop visit?
Oh, they love it. They thank me, every second I'm walking out the door and just can't wait for me to come back again.
Federal Mogul Motor Parts' Garage Gurus is your go-to source for the vehicle training, technology, and answers you need to keep your next job on track. On-site, online, or on demand, the Gurus are here to help keep your business and your career on the road to success. Visit fmgarageguru.com. Now, I'm a pictures person. I stop and look at videos or pictures. What are you finding out in your surveys about what people want to see as according to pictures both in social media and on websites?
Absolutely. Pictures are very important. And on RepairPal, we advise people to upload a few good pictures of their shop. One picture we always recommend is a good picture of the exterior of the shop as it looks from the street. And the reason for this is just very practical. People are driving by. If it's their first experience with you, they have to know what to look for. And like you said, most people are just like you. They're very visual. So being able to say, yep, that's the shop. That's where I need to pull in. If you're set back from the street at all, if there's anything unique about trying to get into your shop complex, having pictures that illustrate that is really, really helpful.
Yeah, you bring up a great point. Whenever I would need to go anywhere with my wife, even if it was to a person's house that we've never been to, and you look it up on whatever, Google Maps, you do Street View, you see the house. Now you have no problem, if you don't have any GPS in the car, knowing exactly where you're going because you've got that mental picture.
Exactly. And so, we did a study where we said, well, what converts better? Pictures of the shop on the outside, pictures of the shop on the outside with people in front of it, inside of the lobby, so forth. And if you only have one picture, it needs to be a really clear, straightforward picture of the outside of your shop. Of course, having more pictures is better. Pictures with people in front of the shop don't convert any better. And the reason for that is people are really just looking to find you at that point. But if you're going to supplement that one picture with something else, showing the friendly faces of the people that work there and the lobby, basically the customer experience, really important. While the under the hood pictures are fun, especially for those of us that are in the industry, it doesn't help consumers to make a decision about your shop. Really, their experience is the important part.
I'm glad you brought that up. I get on a lot of websites. I have a lot of guests, and I do my research. And I love to go to the About Us tab. And it's really wonderful to be able to see the shop owner, if his wife's involved in the business, and the techs. Is that rating high?
Yes. So people like to see the people that they're going to be interacting with at the shop. They like to see that, lobby. They like to see, sort of the walk-in experience where they're going to be dropping off their keys or talking with the service advisor. All of that is great stuff.
Do they love the bio information on a tech?
Yes. And one of the most important things to start off with there, especially if it works in your favor, is years of experience. That really counts for a lot in the mind of the consumer.
Hey, I'm having so much fun, and I have a million questions. I hope we can get to them all. Ratings and reviews. That's got to be such a big thing for you to look at, because consumers, I'm sure, go back to RepairPal and share their experience. But what about Yelp and those other services? How important are they to get a good review?
Yes, getting good reviews is important, but consumers are also getting a little bit wise to this reviews game. And so what they're really looking at are verified third-party reviews. Those hold the most weight in the mind of the consumer. Now, consumers say that they most often trust a friend or family member. That family member is most often dad or uncle. But in absence of dad or uncle referring your shop to their family members, third-party verified reviews are absolutely the way to go, and you want a continuous feed of those. You don't want to get a batch of them and 2 years later, sit on your laurels with these good reviews. People are looking for them to be current and up to date and to show that you continue to provide a consistent level of service.
Thank you for that. If I don't need an emergency repair, my car's not down for any reason, and I don't necessarily have a loyal shop that I would go to, what's my methodology of picking my repair shop?
Yeah, so it might vary based on your age bracket and your familiarity with the internet, but we're even seeing a lot of retirees these days doing a ton of internet research. And what they're most often researching, quite frankly, is the one thing they understand about a repair, and that, again, is back to the price. But for most people, when you don't have an emergency repair, it's a considered decision. So we see people taking 10 to 14 days to make this decision. They might call a number of shops, and then shops will say, oh, I got another price shopper on the line. And part of that is just simply because consumers don't know what other questions to ask. But what they're really trying to avoid is that feeling that they're being ripped off.
Got it. Okay. So why do customers leave their shops?
Customers leave shops for a variety of reasons, but for the most part, it's because they walk away and they feel like their repair or their issues weren't resolved. So sometimes a consumer will come in with a very specific thing that they'll say, I want this or that replaced. And shops that take consumers at face value, maybe this or that needs to be replaced, for example, but they don't diagnose the whole problem that's going on with the car. What are you experiencing? What are you trying to avoid? And then they get in the car and they drive away and there's still that little clicking sound or whatever it was that caused them the alarm in the first place. They're going to feel like they were ripped off. They're going to feel like the repair wasn't high quality and they're going to go away. Now, if you can keep a consumer for about 6 to 12 months, that's maybe 2 to 3, repairs or services. Chances are you can keep them for life. It's the consumers that come once and never come back that probably didn't have a great experience for some reason, or went home and talked to a friend and they said, oh, you should have never paid that, or, what did they really do? And when the person can't describe that to someone else, that's where they start getting bad information from people who don't know as much as the shop probably did.
I'm in the industry. You're in the industry. My listeners are in the industry. And that hurts to hear that stuff because I don't question what my doctor charged to diagnose a muscle strain or, a headache or whatever, that I would go home to a friend and meet a group and say, I think my doctor charged me too much. And someone says, oh, yeah, I only... And that's automotive science today. I ask a lot of my listeners, is it automotive science or automotive service? And it's an interesting balance of what people are saying because of the technology today and what it really takes to repair a car and to staff and to staff an organization to buy the right equipment. So that's going to be a struggle for a long, long time. Now, how do you see the industry changing?
I see the industry changing because people are moving increasingly online. They're moving increasingly to using mobile devices. There's more information available than ever before, which also means that there's more bad information available than ever before. So a good service professional does need to do a great job of explaining the science. If you think about the healthcare analogy you just used, sometimes the difference between a quote unquote good doctor and a bad doctor has nothing to do with their skills as a surgeon. It has more to do with how they sit down and explain to you, especially if you have a serious health issue, what's going on. And even in that case, it's not uncommon for people to get a second opinion or to choose a doctor based on how that doctor makes them feel, as opposed to the list of results that doctor's had in the past.
You just said it. It's the bedside manner, isn't it?
Yes, I call it the car side manner.
Okay.
It's very important. Yes.
Great. Tell me more about that. So I'm a new RepairPal account, and I get, Kathleen, give me the best advice you can give me.
Yeah. So it really starts from their very first exposure. That's your website, your Facebook page, your profile on RepairPal, hopefully. And from there, it has to do with your service staff and how they're answering the phone or answering emails or communicating with customers. And then keeping the customer apprised of what's going on while you're working on the vehicle. When the customer comes to pick up the car, making sure that they understand what happened. Leaving the car clean. You don't have to offer the flowers and the cookies and the chocolates every time, although it's really lovely if you do. But just making sure that, you're giving the car back to the consumer, that it shows that you took good care of it, both on the outside and the inside.
I have to tell you, I appreciate you coming on. I can't believe how quick the time went. You shared an awful lot of great information. And I just want to say that way back in episode 24, we had Jill Trotta on, and she brought as much great information as you did, Kathleen Long. So I want to thank you, Kathleen Long, the Vice President and General Manager of the Shop Network at RepairPal. Hey, why don't you share with us, great words of wisdom, something, great words to live by?
Oh, sure. So I think, we've got amazing shops in our network, and they try very hard every day to do the best they can to serve customers. And just expressing that to the customer, how much they really care about their business and the people that they're serving, will go a very long way.
Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. Find additional show notes on Kathleen Long from RepairPal, to include additional bio information, a link to her company, and some of the stats discussed in this episode. Find them exclusively on the show's episodes page on Remarkable Results Radio. Just go to remarkableresults.biz facebook.com/E156. And that's also the place where you can watch Facebook Live reruns, which air live every Friday at 2 p.m. You are an important reason I bring you these interviews, so you can profit from the wisdom found in each episode. So hey, help spread the word. Tell a friend. Don't keep this a secret. Thanks for being on board to listen and learn from another inspiring aftermarket professional. Until next time.